Welcome to Mega Talk, the new talk show in boxing.
It's great to see Anthony Joshua about. We don't really get to see Anthony Joshua as much as what we used to see him, and we don't really hear him much in interviews. And he's such a massive crowd puller. The crowd is always thronging to see him, take photographs with him, get autographs, etc. We see Anthony Joshua at Abu Dhabi, and he was there to watch the Bivol fight, amongst others. And the line of questioning from most people was, why didn't you fight Tyson Fury? Anthony Joshua was basically saying that deadlines weren't met, amongst other things. He says that Tyson had set dates for when he wanted to fight. We all know that it's the 3rd of December. But he says that he needed more time. He's basically saying his situation is not the same as other boxers because he's got a lot of sponsorship deals. And, he's a big powerhouse, basically, Anthony Joshua is. And it's not straightforward to do it. He needed more time. He never really made a big deal of it, though. He just says, he needed more time. Last, who was to blame? And Anthony Joshua alluded to say, some people say Tyson Fury, and he was going to say, and some people say me, and then, the conversations veered off into another direction. But he did say that there was too much back and forth, and AJ was saying that he can't take that back and forth. He just wants to know who is he fighting and fighting, basically. So they asked him questions around, Anthony, who do you think you'll fight next? And they says, do you think it could be Dillian Whyte? He didn't count it out. He says, yeah, it could be Dillian Whyte. Could it be Deontay Wilder? Once again, he didn't rule it out, so it could be Deontay Wilder. Could it be Andy Ruiz? He still never ruled that one out. He says, yeah, he's got options. He's got a lot of options. But AJ was not answering questions straight. He could tell that he was uncomfortable with a line of questions. He carried on to say, ask me any questions, but you could see that he didn't really want to be there. He explained that he was well managed, and he was just going on about life and just saying that life is bigger than boxing. It's not just about boxing. He still, in interviews, seems a bit agitated. He did explain to Michelle Joy Phelps that he doesn't like cameras, and he was saying that he doesn't like cameras, but I think it had to do with him just not really wanting to answer the questions. And I think that the reason why he doesn't really want to answer the questions, because a lot of the time the press twists things what he says, and I just don't think that he likes it. I just think he's fed up of it. So AJ showed a lot of diversions. But he did say that he's on the rebuild. He's trying to rebuild what he's got. And he was even considering taking a year off. When AJ did look comfortable was when other boxers was around him. He invited them and by the side of him as he was interviewing. Joshua Buatsi was one of them. But then when they went again, he just didn't look comfortable. He says it was nice for him to be on the outside just looking in, watching the fights, watching and learning and what he's seen. Michelle Joy Phelps was trying to really press him. She asked him, are you in a mentally good place? Which I thought AJ was going to divert. She says, are you in a mentally good place? And he once again didn't answer the question. And she says, what was in that outburst? What you done? But AJ didn't really dwell on that. AJ was just saying that he was upset on the night, and he was just saying that I'm just human. During the Michelle Joy Phelps interview, he broke the interview and he was taking pictures with other people, ways that he didn't really want to answer the questions to me. He went up to Bivol's trainer and was talking to Bivol's trainer and said, yeah, you can train me. And then he emphasised that he didn't like cameras. And he says he would find it much easier to talk to fans or to talk to people or individuals on a one-to-one to really explain and break things down away from the cameras, what's really going on. So I think it's obvious that AJ is a bit fed up of people taking things out of context, but he was definitely agitated. I think that AJ really, the best way to get over this concern about the people interviewing him and press keep on coming up to him and asking him questions. I think the best way for him to deal with it is just to get out more, because once questions are answered about Tyson Fury or about this, that or the other, which fight are you going to fight or whatever, they haven't got that choice to ask that question anymore. But the longer that he leaves it and he's out and he's not amongst the public, people are going to always be asking him about his mental state. People are always going to be asking, well, AJ, who are you going to fight next? And people are always going to be asking questions which we've asked, it seems like, months and months and months on end. So my advice to AJ, just get out and about more. The more you get out and about and the more that you mingle with normal public is the more that people just let you be. AJ, people love you, and that's a good thing about it. I don't think people want any harm against you. Even the Tyson Fury fans, as soon as they see Anthony Joshua, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, it's Anthony Joshua. So I just think, AJ, just mix with people. You know how to mix with people, and the more that you mix with people is the more that you feel comfortable. I don't think he's comfortable, because even when he's interviewing, I still see AJ looking here, looking there, looking everywhere. I just say to him, really, just mix with people more. That doesn't mean that you have to be sitting on the same benches with them or on the same chairs with them, but mix with more people. You know what I mean? You don't have to have all your entourage around. And the more that you're around is the more that you'll feel comfortable. But I think AJ has disengaged with the crowd, in particular cameras, for a long time. But it's good to see him back. I don't know where he's going to be going from here. He never says what his plans are. But it looks like he'll be back probably February or even March next year, which once again is too long. AJ, you should be fighting 3 times a year. You're not a world champion now. Fight 3 times a year. The more that you fight is the sharper you're going to get. If you're happy with your training now, you need to put those skills into practice. One thing, I don't know what you guys think, AJ seems to overthink what he's doing when he's boxing. He knows the textbook. AJ, you just got to just go in there and just be street. You got the basics. You know what the trainers taught you. Don't think things through. Just put them into action. You don't have to be, hang on, he says left jab, over right, and then come up with the uppercut, and then finish off with a jab. No, just do your thing. You know what the basics and fundamentals are. The more that you do it is the more that it just becomes routine. So thank you guys for listening to Mega Talk. Please subscribe. Please press the like button. And the more people subscribe and the more people press the like is the more podcasts that can be going out. Thank you for listening to Mega Talk.